Mr. Lewis. My name is Bonnie Jackson. I've been assigned your case. I've reviewed it, and I'll start the questioning for the board. Are you 46 years old, Mr. Lewis?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long have you been incarcerated on this charge?
24 years and 6 months.
So 24 and a half years. I saw that you have some sort of pleading or legal matter pending in the court where you're trying to get that 163-year sentence vacated. What is that about?
Well, the district attorney had offered me a plea deal, ma'am, and he was telling me if I plead guilty, I could go home. And by me receiving new discovered evidence, I turned the deal down, ma'am, and I'm currently in court right now fighting my conviction. And I've been to court multiple times. And
yeah, well, let's just stop right there, Mr. Lewis. I was a judge for 28 years. Okay, and so I'm quite familiar with plea bargains and all of those things. Given the fact that you have an aggravated burglary and a separate armed robbery, it's hard for me to imagine that anybody told you that if you pled guilty, you would go home. Not with these charges.
Aggravated burglary, ma'am. I'm not charged with aggravated burglary, ma'am. I was charged with armed robbery and attempt second-degree murder, ma'am.
Well, you have two separate charges. Let me go back because I don't want to.
Yes,
ma'am. I don't want to misspeak. Hold on. You're serving revocation time on an aggravated burglary.
Yes, ma'am. They had multi-bailed me.
I understand that, but you're serving, so you are serving time for aggravated burglary, and you're serving time for armed robbery and attempted second-degree murder.
Okay, yes, ma'am. I understand now, ma'am. They had with the bail, yes, ma'am. I understand, yes, ma'am.
And again, on the armed robbery and attempted second-degree murder, knowing what I know, nobody told you that if you pled guilty to those charges, you were going to go home. It's impossible.
Well, on my last court day, ma'am, the district attorney had offered me a deal, and I turned the deal down, and we filed a motion to recuse the judge. And
okay,
the judge,
okay. Let's just go back to 1990. Let me see what year was it. When you were at the gas station and you robbed the man, and you put a gun to his head and pulled the trigger several times, but the gun jammed. The victim's wallet was taken, and you fled.
Well,
is that what is alleged to have happened in the case, Mr. Lewis?
Yes, ma'am. That's what alleged happened, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Is that what happened?
That's what I was charged with. The victim said.
My question is that what happened?
No, ma'am. That's why I'm in court now, ma'am. And I take this mask off.
Mr. Lewis, did you plead guilty
to
armed robbery and attempted second-degree murder?
No, ma'am. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, ma'am. I never plead guilty to.
Did you go to trial and get found guilty?
Yes, ma'am. I went to trial and got found.
Okay, well, that means 12 people listened to the facts in the case, and they found sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes, ma'am. I was found guilty with a reasonable doubt. And
then on the aggravated burglary, did you plead guilty or did you go to trial on that one as well?
I plead guilty, ma'am.
So you admit that you went into a lady's house, you and another person,
Yes,
You were
ma'am.
both armed with a weapon. She fled the house. She went to a neighbor, called the police. And when the police got there, you and the other person were found trying to hide in her house. Did that happen?
Yes, ma'am. But the only thing you said, ma'am, we was both on. I never was on, ma'am. My fall partner was on.
That's why we have the law principles,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
okay?
I take full responsibility, ma'am, for that.
Miss Jackson,
Yes.
uh, on this case right here, he has a matter pending, and the next scheduled hearing will be on 2/17/2022. We could, that's up to you. We could give him a chance if he wanted to continue to after that hearing date.
It's not going to take me long with my questions. I doubt that he's going to be successful with his claim, and so we need to go ahead and resolve this. Mr. Lewis, tell me what kind of programs you've taken since you've been incarcerated.
I have, since I've been here at David Wade, I have,
Since you, over the last 24 years, tell me what kind of courses have you taken?
I have taken celebration, recovery, step.
And why,
Yeah.
stop talking, why'd you take Celebrate Recovery?
To learn, to participate in a class, ma'am.
I know, but what kind of class is Celebrate Recovery?
It teach you about hang-ups.
Isn't it a substance abuse class?
Substance, yes, ma'am. That's what it is, ma'am.
Did you take it because you had a substance abuse problem?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of substance abuse problem did you have, Mr. Lewis?
Well, since I've been incarcerated, I was using drugs, ma'am. I went to using drugs.
When did you go to using drugs, Mr. Lewis?
Once my mama died in 2001, I went to doing drugs.
In prison?
Yes, ma'am.
So you telling me before you went to prison, you weren't using drugs?
No, ma'am, I never did anything. I never drunk or anything, ma'am.
Well, what kind of drugs did you use in prison?
Well, synthetic mojo, ma'am. Smoked me synthetic mojo, ma'am.
Okay. I show that you've had 41 disciplinary write-ups over the course of your incarceration.
Yes, ma'am.
Does that sound about right?
Yes, ma'am. I take fully responsibility right up.
I'm not asking about what you take responsibility for, but you've had about 41 write-ups over the last 24 years.
Yes,
And I saw that in 2017, you had 2 periods of extended lockdown in 2017.
Yes, ma'am.
Why were you in extended lockdown in 2017?
Well, using drugs, and I got caught.
Okay. In 2000, you got a write-up for in 2020, you got a write-up for contraband. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the contraband?
That would use on mojo.
And you got that write-up after you had already gone through Celebrate Recovery, isn't that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So you didn't really apply anything that you learned in Celebrate Recovery.
Yes, yes, ma'am. I learned a lot of things, ma'am.
But you still had mojo.
Yes, ma'am.
Same thing with the AA and NA, correct? You had already had those programs?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let me just ask, if you were to be released, where would you live and where would you work?
I would live with my sister, and the first 72 plus already have me a job waiting for me, ma'am. And my nephew, he got his own business. He also want me to work for him too.
What kind of business?
What you say?
What kind of business?
He got his own party buses, ma'am. He drive buses. My sister's son, Darnell Lewis,
Mhm.
he have his own party buses, and he want me to be a janitor to his party bus. My sister, my nephew, my cousin, they drive party buses, and they want me to be a janitor. That's just extra things on the side, but the first 72 plus have me a job line up. Also,
Do you have a GED?
no ma'am. I tried taking my GED several times, ma'am.
What happened?
I failed a test. I just recently took a test not too long ago, and
Have you gotten the results?
yes, ma'am, I got the results here. David Wade.
And you didn't pass again?
My scope, no, that was exam test. That was exam test there, and my scores is low. That was
Okay.
exam.
Do you have any job training certificates? Like,
No,
did
ma'am.
you take any kind of job? You know, a lot of people take auto mechanic, upholstery, culinary, horticulture, programs that would help them have job skills when they got out of jail.
No,
Have you
no,
had any of those?
no, ma'am. I never participated in any one of them
Why
self-help
not?
programs
Why not?
because, and well, you have to have your GED to get
I
in them.
see, I understand, I understand. Well,
Only
what's your
reason-
job, what's your job at the prison?
Well, I don't have any job here at the prison. I work in the field, but the field closed down due to coronavirus or due to prison.
Have you ever had a prison job assigned to you beside the field?
Yes, ma'am. I was a dome orderly, cleaning the dome up. I was a dome orderly.
And where was that?
H1B, H2,
I mean, at Wade or some other facility?
David Wade Correctional Facility.
And how long have you been at David Wade?
7 years, ma'am. Going on 7 years.
All right. All right, Warden, is there anything you can tell us about Mr. Lewis?
Judge, I can just briefly discuss him. He came here in 2015, I think in April, so he's been here going on 7 years. Like he said, he's participated in some programming. He mentioned Celebrate Recovery. He's also participated in some pre-release programming, Cage Your Rage, victim awareness, and anger management. The issue with the educational placement, he's been enrolled in school a couple of times, but he was dropped because of lack of progress. It's not from lack of effort. He just,
I understand.
I think he's going to have some issues advancing past a certain level, and we're working with him on that.
I understand.
His conduct record, you know, over the years that he's been here, he's had a total of 5 write-ups since he's been here. Last one was in 2020, and he really has a good attitude. Every time I see Darnell, he's always very jovial and cooperative with staff, and you know, he's a pleasant person to be around, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But other than that, the contents of his record speaks for itself, Your Honor.
Did he complete all 100 hours of pre-release?
Yes, ma'am, he did complete that program in 2015. That was actually prior to him coming to David Wade, but it was noted in his record that he completed it at the previous institution.
All right. All right, thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Wise.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. You know, I do have a couple of things I want to talk to you about. You know, I know you probably hadn't had many write-ups since you've been up at David Wade. You've had a total of 41 write-ups, Mr. Lewis.
Yes, sir.
And back in 5/8/20, you had a rule number 1. That rule number 1, Warden, what was that rule number 1 for?
What year that was, sir?
On 5/8/20.
5/8/20. That's up here, right?
We found some, contraband on that tested positive for
Synthetic.
synthetic marijuana.
Yeah.
Synthetic
I
marijuana,
thought
right
it was-
up, Mr. Wise.
You know, I've been doing this a pretty good while, and I understand. I see why you're working out in the field. You keep getting in trouble, and you keep moving back, and you got to work your way back up. You know, and you're back in the field right now. You know, I see people the time that you got that already be have a good trustee, a good laid back job out there somewhere. But the problem is about the time you get to doing pretty good, you get back in trouble. I look back over a lot of your write-ups, and I see a lot of 30s in your write-up, rule number 30s in your write-up, you know, and when I start seeing those, I see that there's a little problem along the way.
Yes, sir.
And I have seen some of those, and you've had 2 write-ups in 19. The one in 20 was a rule number 1 for a little synthetic marijuana. You hadn't took any other programs since the synthetic marijuana for drugs or anything, have you?
Yes, I have. I just finished parenting, and I'm participating in victim awareness again. I completed victim awareness once, and I'm taking it again, sir. As we speaking right now, I'm in
Talking
victim
about
awareness
like
parenting.
I'm talking about substance abuse. Any programs about substance abuse since then?
Everything shut down due to the pandemic, sir. That shut down due to the pandemic, sir.
All right, I don't have any questions. I see there's a speaker today, Mr. Claude Hopkins there. Mr. Hopkins, if you would unmute your mic and you can give your statement.
See, I knew.
Okay, man.
Okay,
How you
Mr.
guys doing this morning?
Good.
Yes, Claude Hopkins, 472 Plus. I was listening to what's going on with Mr. Lewis. I'm here to let you know that the 472 Plus is here to support Mr. Lewis with, if you guys allow him to come out to us. Can I reflect back up on something? What I want to reflect upon is that, you know, the board have sent many guys to the 472 Plus approval. And we have yet for anyone that the board sent to 472 Plus to return back into the life of crime that we once had. I mean, we all fell short when we were younger, but now we all have grown. You know, 472 can help Mr. Lewis. We have a program, 9 steps to staying free. And just this Wednesday, we had a real great big turnout. And sometimes I sit back and I think about if the board could only see what these guys have done since they've been released, you know, from back then to now, then you all will be proud. You all will be real proud. And I'm asking the board to please allow Mr. Darnell Lewis to come and be part of the 472 family. I mean, we you know, all I can say is that the 472 Plus is a family. We just unified. You know, we don't have anyone returning back, and you know that's a blessing in itself. Now, one of our people that you guys released have returned back to the system. I mean, everybody work. Everybody just about have a place to stay. The automobile. We do all the roundabout services for them. ID, Social Security, help them get the benefits that is required to them. You know, and once again, I'm asking the board to please allow Darnell Lewis to become part of the 47th Troop. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I see Miss Lewis, sister there. If you would unmute your mic. Miss Tanisha, if you would unmute your mic and speak.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, how y'all doing? First and foremost, I would like to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to speak in behalf of my brother. I'm very proud of him. He been doing very well since he been in there. I'm so proud of him because he has been a change his whole life around since he been incarcerated. I know for sure, given a chance to come home, he will be great because I'm gonna be there for him. Since he been incarcerated, we lost our grandmother and my mom, and we all we have is each other. And so it would be absolutely a blessing for him to come home to us and his daughter and his grandkids. I would like to thank you guys for the opportunity to express myself, and God bless you.
God bless you too. Okay, I see Miss Clayton, the daughter there. If you would unmute your mic and you can speak.
Good morning. So as you said, my name is Kenyatta Clayton and I am Darnell Lewis' daughter. Today is actually my birthday, so it's coming close to, basically for me, it's 25 years since I've been able to, have a bond with my father. He's been practically gone since I was a baby, and I just feel like I kind of was not granted the opportunity of growing up in a two-parent household, and I kind of feel like it affected my life somewhat. I have two beautiful daughters, so now he is definitely a grandfather, and I just feel like I would really love for my kids to have a bond with him, like get the bond that I did not have with him. And my mother, she passed away in 2017. So I'm kind of out here fending for myself. I have no parents, basically. My dad does keep in touch with me. He makes sure he writes me. He keep in touch with my kids. He asks about them all the time. But it's so hard for babies to know who their grandfather is if he's away. So I just really wish he was granted parole so that my kids can bond with him and I can get to know my father and not have to just hear about, oh, this is how your dad is. This is your dad. Like, he did this, he did that. No, I want to know my dad for myself. And I just thank you guys for listening. And I just hope you guys make the right decision.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, no other speakers there. At this time, Mr. Lewis, anything you want to say to the board before we vote?
Yes, sir. I would like to ask the board to please give me a chance. I understand I made a few more mistakes, and if the board would please give me a chance, I would never make another mistake like that again in my life. For smoking, I put that down. That's through. So I just ask the parole board to please give me a chance. And
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
At this time, Ms. Jackson will be voting.
Mr. Lewis, I'm going to tell you that I was pretty disappointed at your write-up in 2020 for contraband.
Yes, ma'am.
Particularly after you had gone through Celebrate Recovery. You didn't learn what you needed to learn in Celebrate Recovery. I think you've made a lot of progress. I think you're working towards being able to be released, but I'm not sure you're quite there yet.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to see you repeat Celebrate Recovery.
Yes, ma'am.
So that when you come out, you have a better handle on how to deal with your drug use. And
Yes.
if the first 72 is still willing to take you on once you reapply and have completed that program, then you have a good shot at being released. But today, because of that write-up in 2020, after you had gone through Celebrate Recovery, I just feel like you need some additional programs. So my vote today is to deny, but encourage you to get in Celebrate Recovery and apply when you're eligible. So
Yes,
good luck to you, Mr. Lewis.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Marable.
Mr. Lewis, it is very concerning to me that you had synthetic marijuana shortly after you completed the Celebrate Recovery program. You know as well as I know, 80% of the people in prison are there because of drug use. If you can't beat your drug habit in prison, you're certainly not going to be able to do it on your own. I agree with Ms. Jackson. You need some more treatment, maybe Celebrate Recovery, doing that one more time, or whatever other substance abuse programs there are in prison that you can take. Understand and learn AA. Understand the 12 steps. Live your life according to the 12 steps. If you come back with a program such as that, and I'm still on this board, and you haven't had any more write-ups, I'm likely to grant. But today, my vote is to deny.
Yes, sir.
Today, I'm gonna be agreeing with both of my colleagues today. That write-up kind of sets me back with it. And plus the time you've been in there, I know Warden and Goodwin and them, if it's anywhere they could, they would have you in a prominent place, but they can't do it with you getting write-ups. You can't be getting them kind of write-ups. I hope everything goes well with you on 2/17/2022 on trying to overturn some of this stuff. And good luck today. My vote is tonight. Thank you.